Victoria Palace. We ran for 6 months in Manchester. The British public took to. I think it ran for about a year and a bit on Broadway.
Yes.
So we took to it more than the Americans in a way.
And I think I saw a documentary of putting that show on, and then incredible. I don't know what you call that thing.
Slide for Life.
The Slide for Life thing.
Yes.
Because you were way up in the roof of the Palladium, weren't you?
Yes. That was... Well, the worst part of that was the run to get up there. And by a Saturday night after 2 shows and 7 shows, this was the 8th show of the week, to get up there and then do a costume change and someone ripping your clothes off and putting some jodhpurs on, and then you come down some nights with your flies open. There was always a big ovation.
But also, I suppose there is an actory thing where you feel like you never say no. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do.
I've always wanted to do more. When we were doing Phantom, the opening of the second act was the Red Death, and Hal Prince was our director. And I said to him one day, I said, Hal, you need more height from the character, don't you? You're saying, yes, that's right, kid. And I said, well, I wondered. I said, I've learned to walk on stilts. If I came down the stairs on stilts, and then I'd be above them all, because it's unrealistic, it's not real, is it? We're just pretending, Hal. So he said, what do you mean? Show me. So I came down on these stilts. He said, get the hell out of there, get out of there, kid, get him off that stage. He said, I never seen anything like it in my life. He said, you're crazy, kid.
That's proper old-fashioned.
I go too far, yes.
Listen, we're going to have more chat with you, and we've got listeners' questions as well. People have been. Don't worry, they're nice and easy. But what have you chosen for some music?
Something cheerful. I like Pharrell Williams singing Happy.
Good, let's have it.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news talking this and that. Friends to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down.
year we nearly lost Michael Crawford. He's doing pratfalls in the just to amuse me. For an audience of one, he nearly fell off a chair, but he's still with us. That was for always happy, the choice of my guest, Michael Crawford. The Go-Between, starring Michael Crawford, which sounds absolutely gorgeous. I know you were worried about how to explain it, but I think you've explained it very well. The Go-Between, starring Michael Crawford, it previews at London's Apollo Theatre from May the 27th. Now, let's get to some listeners. Well, let's go back to what we were just talking about, one other thing. So, on Hello Dolly, you were just saying, Gene Kelly, that, although he was a joy, he had a fixed idea of how things should be.
I think he was the most influential person in my career. Without a doubt, he was a mentor. He would come up to the house on a Sunday and say, "I got a great idea, kid." I was called Kid by every American in BC. I don't think they can pronounce Michael. So he would come up, but he was methodical beyond belief. That's why you can see in any film that Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, they do takes that were 6 minutes long, and you just don't see that. But to become that good for a 6 minute take, you've got to have some kind of theatrical in you. So because we have to do 2 hours, and you really don't want to make a mistake. And he was a hard taskmaster, but if you listened, you sure as heck learned.
And what was the time scale of that? Because I was growing up in Ireland where we got films very late, so I'd seen you on TV and then watched Hello Dolly, and I was like, oh look, there's that guy in Hello Dolly. So had you done Hello Dolly first?
I did Hello Dolly way before I did Some Mothers.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
Yes.
And how did it happen? Did you just audition, or were you known on Broadway?
No. I was doing a play called Black Comedy, Peter Sheffer's Black Comedy on Broadway with Lynn Redgrave, and Roger Edens came to see it, he discovered Judy Garland and was a great friend and associate producer on Hello Dolly, and told Gene that he'd seen this physical actor in Black Comedy, and he might be very suitable for Cornelius Hackle in Hello Dolly. So I was contacted by 20th Century Fox and Gene Kelly to say, we'd like you to do a screen test for the part. So I'm back in England by now, and I had to go out and meet Gene first before he thought this was a good idea. And that's quite a long story, though. But you're sort of so nervous. And he said, "Okay, kid, can you dance?" I said, "Well, I've done a little in the bathroom." And he said, "Can you sing? Can you count?" I said, "I can count to 4. He said, that's great. You can count to 4. He said, "That's all you're going to need to do." And I thought, well, that's great. I'll be able to do this. So this crazy interview, I go back to England and I do this screen test, make friends with someone who was in West Side Story, the American original cast of West Side Story were in London. And he taught me basically how to move rhythmically and count and be in time. And I sent this test back and I sang 2 songs and I got the part. And I heard last year that apparently the producers didn't really want me, but Gene fought for me, because the way we did the song, It Only Takes a Moment, I sang it and it made me weep at the end of it, because I'd found love. After 28 3/4 years, I'd found love. Well, I mean, that's quite a long wait, isn't it? So you would be a bit upset and moved by it. So I was. And the producers didn't like that. They wanted it more, "It only." Instead I did "It only."
Growing up in Bandon, Cork, there's a world outside of Yonkers, Barnaby was the song that spoke to me at the time.
Yeah.
People have been in touch. We must get to some of the questions. Marina in Walton Abbey, what are your memories of working with Elaine Page in the stage musical of Billy Liar?
Well, we started out in Manchester, Elaine and I, and I've still got photos of us doing the publicity shots outside. And about the second week in, I broke my wrist, so we had to go on. And I'm carrying I've got that one of those journalist shots. You carry your leading lady in your arms, and she's got a miniskirt just covering her bottom, and I've got a plaster cast on my wrist trying to sell this show. So, I mean, she was amazing in it. She sang this song that was, and Gay Soper played one girlfriend, Elaine Page played the other girlfriend, and they were complete opposites. One was a real sort of tarty type, and Elaine played the tart, and she had it off beautifully.
We'll say no more. Now, Charles from Godstone, I didn't know this, that you were voted number 17 ahead of Queen Victoria in the BBC's 100 Greatest Britons. Did you know this?
Yes.
Do you get a certificate?
No, I mean, I'm embarrassed, but it was, you know how every decade I think there are trends of it's like, who now will go to see Phantom, that will be their favourite Phantom. So it used to be that you ruled the roost, and now you don't, because it's passed on. And they had my autobiography had just come out, and I was given an hour-long show on Parkinson to talk about it, and it had gone down okay. So I think I was very much in the public's eye at that time.
Yes.
So it was a great advantage to me.
Very quick question. And we're out of time, really, but is it true Michael Jackson wants to play the Phantom in a movie version, Fiona from Perth?
Now?
No. He dead now. But back in the day.
I think he did, yes.
Really?
Well,
did he come to see it? Did you?
Oh, yes, he did. He came backstage in New York and said, "I love your hands. You've got great hands." And I took one step back, but it was awesome meeting him. I mean, it was just awesome. But then he came back again. He said, "I love your hands." He kept saying to me. I said, "Thank you very much."
Mike Crawford, we should have you back for an hour. I feel cheated that I'm saying goodbye to you. But The Go-Between, starring Michael Crawford, previews at London Apollo Theatre from May the 27th. It's been an honour, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Graham.